villain of truth, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria, the only man that can have 32 episodes in a day. Yet he has more to talk about. Don't joke with me. Joe Rogan is learning. Um, we want to talk about something, and I'm expecting some of my audience to join me live. I just want to discuss about few things because today I have few conversation with certain individual, and I'm a person that when people communicate with me, I mostly listen attentively to what they say. The wise, the smart, whoever speaks, I listen to whatever you say, and the moment I'm off, maybe there's something inside of me that just begins to remind me about every conversation and tells me that there's something I should have said or there's something that I should have done better than whatever I've done or whatever choice I've made. Regardless of how good I think I've done it, there's always that part of me that still thinks that there's something to do. So right now, I'm expecting few people to join me live. Maybe there's a possibility that we can have few conversation because I think that what I would have done earlier was to come around 7 to discuss with people, but the time at which I came live was the best time I could because that was the time my spirit felt like speaking. Even though knowing fully well that the audience might not be much on live, but right now I'm just like, okay, let me still try my best and come on live. If people are not joining me live, I most likely will make it tomorrow. But I think I need to speak on the subject today. Um, because I know there are some audience of mine who would have loved to have conversations with me, thinking that I'll be live around 7 p.m. But unfortunately, yesterday I was unable to meet up around 7. My spirit was somewhere far because I went out. I did a lot of stuff yesterday, so I was kind of busy. Now, coming back to today, I was able to have live this morning, and I had another live not quite long. So I'm giving out opportunity for those who I am supposed to talk to earlier, and I was unable to talk to them, who most likely would have been expecting me to come on live. I would have loved to share a few thoughts with them, and also maybe we can have our conversation falling around the causes or the pain that comes with abundance, feeling lonely, or being single. I don't know if that makes sense. Or we can say the pain of having abundance but no one to share it with. And the reason was simply because I think I had a conversation with a lady called Queen Pre earlier today when I was talking about the Black American stuff, not quite long. I spoke. She had a mindset, and the mindset is all about Black American women were doing fine and they don't need the black men and the rest of it. I'm just looking at. I was just laughing, but I understand where she's coming from. You see, when you feel like when the world appears to you every single time that they don't need you, sometimes you become so bitter and you become the same thing that you hated. And so when she was speaking, I look at it like it's just a defense mechanism. Nobody wants to be alone. I don't even know. Even a demon does not want to be alone. An angel does not want to be lonely. Talk of a human being, an ordinary fleshy human being who walks upon the surface of this earth within a period of 200 years. And before you know, they are under the ground, 6 feet under the ground. Have you ever seen any sport that anyone plays and the person plays it alone? Is there any sport that existed in human philosophy or human's endeavor and you see one particular person play a particular sport and no one has compete with them? Nobody can play with themselves. Even if you're thinking to masturbate, you have to manipulate or think about somebody for you to be able to even manipulate to manipulate yourself to masturbate. And so when you underestimate the idea of humans, and you're like, we are not important in life and you can do it all by yourself, that's just a crazy mindset. It's a crazy mindset. I don't care what anyone says. It is not a realistic life. I've spoken to people who kind of pretend and they think that, oh, they are this and they can actually survive without people. But at the end of the day, whenever they see any opportunity to jump into conversations to just distort whatever peaceful or educational thing that is actually going on, they take advantage of it simply because they don't want to be alone. They want their voice to be heard, and at the same time, they want attention. And so sometimes people buy the idea that if I can do everything on my own, I have money on my own, I have abundance on my own, I can spend money and do everything on my own, there is this void that is still lacking. And people have to fill that void. And the only thing that can fill that void is humans. Hello, this your name? I did not know it. Oh, namaste. But at least I hear your language. Good morning or good day. Or this is evening actually. Good evening, sir. Rupesh K. Long time. Why did you change your account? Rupesh K. What happened? What happened? It's been a while. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I hope you have been able to resolve your issue. Welcome, brother. Please, if you're just joining me, those of us who are joining me, please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Double tap your screen and show like before we continue fully into today's conversation, this evening's conversation. I was supposed to be asleep, but I decided, like, some of my audience always most times believe I'll be on live around 7, 8. And so regardless of the fact that I already had an episode earlier today, I was just like, no, I have to be there to speak to you guys. Oh, thank God for that. I'm happy to hear your voice. Did I hear your voice? I'm happy you're right. Please double tap your screen and show some likes. I appreciate it. It helps our algorithm. Before we fully dive into today's conversation, don't mind the fact that I dress or I put on a spec like Terminator. Regardless of the fact that this is 9. This is almost 9 p.m. I don't want to see the text of Queen Pray. So I have to cover my eyes with the blood of Jesus. Yes, sir, Rupesh K. I'll try and identify this your new name. Please double tap your screen and show some likes. How many of you are here joining me live? Okay, I think we're having about 3 people. There's a particular subject I want to treat today, and that's the reason why I'm here to talk about it. And it's about the pain of having abundance but no one to share it with. The pain of having abundance but no one to share it with. And this all started because subsequently we have been having conversations tilting towards the blacks and love and unity between the Africans and the rest of it. And then some people kind of find a way. Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Some people find a way to defend the idea of being single. Some people appreciate the fact that they are being single. And this evening, earlier today, I was having a conversation with the black simply because one of my audience drew my attention to one interview, and I began to dissect the interview, and I was telling people like, black men, black women, you need each other. But realistically, sometimes it is easy for us to discuss about things, or regardless of our conversations, we need certain actions to be taken. And I was giving an advice to the black women to move to Africa. But I see that sometimes some of the black women, due to how they've been hurt by the black men, some of them decide to be single. And so I had an audience who also believed in the idea of being single, and she spoke to me today. And everything she was saying was primarily negative, and it's not even helpful to her. So the question is, how can you think you enjoy life by having abundance but no one to share it with? So I thought about it. I was like, okay, let me use this to be able to have a conversation with you guys. And I think the pain of having abundance but no one to share it with can feel like a deep sense of emptiness or loneliness. I repeat myself, like Dr. Umar Johnson, pardon. The pain of having abundance but no one to share it with can feel like a deep sense of emptiness or loneliness, despite the success or material wealth. Most people do not understand this. There is lack of emotional fulfillment when you make a decision to have abundance and you have no one to share it with. There is a lack of emotional fulfillment. Because people often find meaning in connection. And without someone to experience those moments with, life can feel isolating or even empty. Some people will use the word hollow. So I will be diving on the specific pains that include you having abundance but no one to share it with. For those people who have acknowledged or who have accepted the idea of being single and lonely, trust me, the only reason why a lot of people buy into the idea of being single today and they say I am single and happy is basically because they just have resources. It's just because they just have some money with them. No one is broke and is happy being single. I haven't ever seen anyone who can tell me that they are happy being single when they are broke. Most people come up with these ideas basically because they have little wealth that they can flaunt with themselves, simply because they have the liberty to live a life lavishly, go on their own without being accountable for something or being responsible for something. One of the things I can say are the specific pains include loneliness. And loneliness, it feels as though no matter how much you have something, You lack the joy that comes from sharing with others. When you are lonely, you feel like there is no joy inside of you, no matter how much you have with you. There is that emptiness inside of you. Now, I always have this experience. There was a time in my life, there was a time I was making money. I made over 15 million naira. I had 15 million naira. For all my life, the highest I could have was 100,000. But something happened in my life. I was able to make 15 million naira. During the time I had 15 million naira, that was the most empty time of my life. That was the moment I feel so empty inside myself. In the morning, I have to go to Mr. Biggs to eat. In the noon, I just keep going from one eatery to another. Because that was the moment I begin to realize what we call emotional emptiness. When I begin to feel the void within myself. And I think that most ladies today, most men today, who also have the concept of making a decision that they don't want anyone in their life simply because they have a lot of resources with them, fall into the same trap. Initially, you feel like you are a god. Initially, you feel like you are invisible. But as time goes on, reality begins to creep in. And then I realized something, that relationship provide warm connection, and it makes abundance meaningful. The only time the wealth begin to make sense to me, the money begins to make sense with me or to me, was when I begin to bring my wife into the picture. Because I had so much money at that particular time, I jumped. I flew out of relationship. I didn't divorce, I didn't break up with my wife or anything, but I just separate myself. What happened to me? I don't know. I became so wealthy. Absolutely, Rupesh K. Absolutely. And I see most of them pretend every single time. One of the things I was able to also realize that during those period of my life, I had lack of purpose. I made so much money that I lose the purpose of my life. Oh, the enlightened one is here. And the enlightened one is hitting the nail on the head. Everyone must have money to know this. Everyone must have money to know this. I said I made so much money at some point that I lack purpose in my life. And I'm like, all these things I have, it means nothing to me. And it felt like I was enjoying my life before. I was doing well and flourishing in my life. And it seems like I had abundance and something just happened. And I felt empty. Hello, Lisa. Namaste. Welcome, ma. It's good to see you. I was like, instead of me going to sleep after the last episode we had about 3 hours or 4 hours ago, I was like, some of my audience are already used to me coming by this time. And so I have to make sure I am here for my audience sake. And so I was referring to the conversation I had with Queen Prey earlier today about the idea of abundance and being single. That's the pain of having abundance but no one to share it with. So welcome. One of the things I also realized during that particular period of my life was that was the time I started having missed memories. A lot of people that I wished they were there in my life when I had abundance. Do you imagine I was going through a lot of struggle in my life, but when I had money, and I was like everyone in my life then were kind of like trouble to me. So I had a lot of money at some point, and I began to miss every single person in my life, and I was like, this was the moment I wanted to share with them. This is what some kind of wealth can bring into your life. Rupesh K says, people with money don't have the heart to help. People with a heart don't have money to help. I think sometimes there can just be a disconnection somewhere. In the Yoruba, I know the enlightened one would definitely understand this statement. Yoruba would say that ẹni tó lórí ò ní fìlà, ẹni tó ní fìlà ò lórí. Absolutely. The enlightened one says, great point. But until you truly have money, you really don't know what's truly in your heart. And trust me, it doesn't take much for you to start thinking like Bill Gates. People who wake up in the morning and they tell you that the population of the human race are too much. Enlightened one says, the spirit of money will change you. You will be you will be shocked. Most especially when you know that other people need that money. It makes you feel like a god. But when people do not need the money that you have, it makes you feel isolated. Rupesh K says, I admit with your statement, enlightened one. Absolutely, that's true. And my intent is that regardless of the fact that I speak on this subject right now, I think subsequently it is one of the most important things we begin to bring into the awareness and the consciousness of some of our brothers and sisters who think that human relationship is not that important. There is nothing wrong. You see, the problem of humans sometimes is the idea of repentance. And the idea of repentance is that you have to reflect and think inward. And then you have to change your ways. You have to change your belief system and you have to choose a different path. A lot of people recognize exactly what I'm saying, but just because they are stuck in their ways and they feel like for them to wake up to the reality and the truth of their experience and say, I have to change this mentality because I know it's not going to serve me at the long run, it is difficult for them. Maybe there's a fault with humans that we most times crucify or we judge people almost every single time. There could be that possibility. And one of the things I also realized that wealth does is that it disconnects people from humanity. It disconnects people from humanity. One of the things you see about wealthy, when people just become rich, maybe over a period of time, they become disconnected from humanity. No wonder, looking at the African leaders, they become so wealthy and they all gather within one particular environment, and it makes them not to give regards to their people. This happen on all different levels. One of the things that I wrote down is that wealth and abundance might set you apart from others, but it can also make you feel more distance from genuine relationship, as some may see you for your wealth rather than who you are. I repeat, I say wealth and abundance might set you apart from others, but it can also make you feel more distance from genuine relationships, as some may see you for your wealth rather than who you are, and it becomes a defense mechanism. Enlightened one finished it all. He said it can make you paranoid and secluded. Maliko Sondaya makes you paranoid. Absolutely. You see, that's the moment when you see that the same brother of yours who used to call you, the same sister of yours who used to call you, your boyfriend who used to call you, your girlfriend who used to call you, whenever they reach out to you, all you begin to do is you become so paranoid that what they want from you is your wealth. They don't love you for who you are. And that's what the enlightened one touched on right now. And maybe the reality is that we need to also understand that yes, they feel these things. Those who are wealthy, those who have money, maybe they feel these things. Maybe we have to draw their awareness or their consciousness to the idea of how they actually feel at the moment. Maybe that's why I'm doing this. Maybe that's why I'm saying this. And I always tell people that having abundance without someone to share it with is like having a treasure with no one to enjoy its value. Because it often leaves you craving deeper connection and fulfillment. So the question should be, what should be the solution for someone who finds themselves like, I do not depend on anybody, I have the wealth that I need? What is the solution for them to be able to crawl out of that mindset of the fact that I hate the world, I can live without the world? And sometimes we don't just understand that the only thing we have is money, actually. Because sometimes you can have so much money and you think that you have the world, not realizing that only what you have is money. And if the world actually disappears, that money means nothing. Rupeshke says there is nothing wrong with wanting to earn money. There should be no greed to earn more in wrong ways. There should be no greed to earn more in wrong ways. The enlightened one says some people are so poor, all they have is money. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I always, these are part of the things I tell people, like, there's so much more beyond money. And people have to be able to crawl out of the idea of just money. And trust me, we don't blame them because, you see, even those some people who are being religious and they talk about God, most of the things that a lot of religion teach is capitalism, the God of capitalism, the God of abundance, the God that gives money, the God that open doors. And we forget the God that enriches you far beyond physical or material wealth. And so, looking at it from the standpoint of educational system, most education focus everything on capitalism. And the reality is that a lot of people's idol today is just money. And what a lot of people gravitate towards today is just money. And that refer me to back of part of the conversation we were having earlier today when I was informing some of my brothers and sisters about the idea that a lot of black men, specifically, that was where the topic went to, that some black men think that they are not valuable apart from money that they can provide. But I am saying they build their value based off only the money of what they can provide. So their value is based off money. But if someone else have the money, if a black woman have money and she doesn't need your money, then what value do you have to the black woman? And I'm raising the consciousness of men that we can be more valuable than the money we provide. Trust me, my wife knows there is no season in my life, or there has never been any time in my life that I ever say, God, bless me that I am richer, or I flourish more than my wife or anybody. I don't compete in material things. And it doesn't mean I have figured it out in life. I haven't figured it out in life. Only what I know is that when you raise your consciousness to be able to experience every part of life, money becomes just a little part. And I'm not saying money doesn't have its value. I'm just saying it have its place, and its place shouldn't overcome every other space. The enlightened one says that we all need money in the material world. We just have to be careful not to worship it. We are all worshiping something unknowingly or knowingly. Better be something transcend and beyond material. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't know. Maybe I grew beyond, or I experienced something beyond something in my life that makes me just shift my eyes, and money is not the most important thing to me. It has never been the most important thing to me. I don't know how it works. I don't know how I actually switched, because thinking of it right now, I have been this way long time ago before I even had money. Frega is asking a question. It says, "Which side are you on for the Nigeria versus SA war?" I'm on the side of love. Love conquers all. Simple. When people understand love, you would understand that bitterness has no importance in life. You see, all these things only matter because you think you have a long life. It seems like yesterday when I got married. It seems like yesterday when I had my first child. It seems like yesterday when I have my second child. And trust me, I stay with them and I cherish them so much. And I know within a period of time, they are growing so fast in my eyes. So I don't have any time to spend with with anyone who is fighting fighting war. If it's not love, I don't participate. Everybody vibrates on different frequency. My frequency is love. If it's not love, I don't speak about it. So one of the things I was talking about is how do these people come out of this situation? And part of the thing I think is that most people who experience the idea of I am single, I am doing well, I need nobody in my life. Part of the things that I think is that some of them actually should cultivate self-love and acceptance. That possibly might be one of my first advice. Cultivate self-love and acceptance. And before you can share your abundance with others, it is always essential to love and accept yourself. And one of my advice would have been engage in practices such as maybe meditation or journaling or therapy, or understand your inner desires and emotions, because the reality is this: most of them deny their desires. Most of them deny their emotional or inner desires. And when you don't recognize your inner desires, you will think that you really want to be alone. Anyone who have successfully cultivated self-love would understand the importance of knowing your inner desires. You cannot desire anything just within yourself that you cannot push out to the world. And who are the people you want to push out to the world? You want to push it out to humanity, to experience the love you feel within yourself. But if there's no self-love and acceptance of yourself, utini problem, you have a lot of issues. Krager says, what country are you from? I'm from Kenya. My brother, I love you. I'm from Nigeria. Rupesh K says, a man without money is a corpse. Indian proverb. That's how they started worshiping money. That's how they started worshiping money. A man without money is a corpse. Where is the love? So you think that a beggar on the street is a dead person. That is the meaning of that proverb. That a beggar on the street is a dead person. When we imbibe some kind of negative principle within ourselves or negative parable within ourselves that does not help us to show kindness and empathy to people, we become the devil. The devil is not really difficult to see. The devil is always very closer. Switch your mind a little bit, change the frequency a little bit, and you become one. That parable from the Indian, let them delete it. It doesn't help anyone. Lisa says, so you don't think two doctors should be together? You don't think two teachers should be together? You don't think two business people should be together? People want to date and marry their equal. Oh, okay. Lisa, that's not what I mean. And I would like you to just open your heart to what I want to say and understand that I'm just trying to explain. I am wealthy in my own way. When I am blessed, I appreciate it. When I'm being gifted on something, I appreciate it. But I am doing well. Trust me, I am doing very well in my way. And that doesn't also stop the fact that I might be, perhaps I wasn't married, I can be attracted to someone who has even more than me. But my value is not based off what I have. My value is not based off what I can provide. If what I can provide is based off what my value is, my value will be diminished with time if the person have the same thing and I don't have any other value. Let's put it this way. As a woman, let's say you know how to work and you know how to make money. And if you make money, I know how to invest the money. I have a different value. You can make money, I can invest the money. If I know how to invest the money, and maybe you know how to make money and you also know how to invest money, I should know how to construct certain things that makes the investment last long. There are many ways we can be useful to each other beyond financial capacity. The problem is that a lot of people just focus on the money. If money is the issue, for example, if you have all the money, let's say your expectations in life is to have $1 billion or $1 million, and you have $1 million, and I have $200,000. Are you higher than me or am I higher than you? Now, on the financial path, you might have more money than me. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have more value than me. In the capital mindset, in the material world, in the economic world, yes, you do. But that doesn't mean that there are no other aspects that I could flourish in. This is the reason why who was the person who said something? Was it Enron? Somebody wrote something on the platform the other time we were speaking that there are a lot of people who have big mansions and big houses, and the people on the streets are even better than them. Because if every of your value in relationship is only based off money, then there's nothing else you can give to your family that is beyond money. One of the things I did, if you watch what I did yesterday, I think I brought my son out. I shoot a live video with my son yesterday, and I bought him a wristwatch. And I told you my son is almost 6 years, and this is the second thing I bought him since I gave birth to my son. Why? Not because I can't afford him different kind of things, but because I make sure that the relationship I build with him, the love I want to build with him, should not be based off what I can get him, but who I am to him and what he can also be to his sisters and to the family and to the society at large. You see, one of the things you also touched on when you said people want to date or marry and marry their equal. It is the perception of what the society actually propagates, that people actually want to marry their equal. Now, who is your equal? Someone who makes, you say someone who makes almost the same money with you. Why do you need it? Perhaps, let's say, Lisa, for example, you have the old money and you don't need a damn money from me. You can take care of me. You can take care of all my generation combined. Let's put it as an example. Why must I make the same money as you? What is the point? The point is simply because rather than you to focus on the relationship we are building, you most likely are looking at how the society perceive us. You want the society to look at us as power couple. Power couple. Power breeds corruption. Simple. If you are living in the true vibration and frequency of love, it has nothing to do with the perception of the society. It has everything to do with what you feel within with that particular person. The question I should ask you is that, have you ever been in love with someone? Truly, have you ever truly been in love with someone? And if you have truly been in love with someone, how much was the importance of money in that love that you once felt? You might only have felt it once in your life. But if you have truly felt love, for any reason you ever felt love, tell me that money was just the major reason. Because if it is money, you haven't experienced love at all. Rupesh K says, sorry, brother, it's not my statement. Rich people treat poor people like that. Absolutely. I agree with you, Rupesh K. See, don't take me too serious. So maybe sometimes, don't mind me. But I just take words and I try to work with exactly that words to the perception that we can all learn from. Trust me, you're one of the brother I love so much. So trust me, once you said Rupesh K, you know I knew you already. A family would never advise a woman to marry into poverty. You said something. You said a family would never advise a woman to marry into poverty. What is poverty? Let me define poverty for you. Poverty is when there is a missing of everything and there is no possibility of making anything. Poverty is where there is a missing of everything and there is no possibility of anything. It simply means when your mind is poor, you do not have the ability or the mindset to produce. Haven't you heard of poor mentality, poor mindset? The enlightened one said something earlier, and it says there are a lot of people who are poor and all they have is money. I know them. As I speak to you, I have been fighting a whole corporation. Every single day I come on live and I speak to you guys, I am fighting a whole corporation, big organization, and we are going to court. They have money, I don't have money. But you know who is winning? I am winning. What? Knowledge. Everything does not have to be capital. Capital. You can be rich and empty-headed. Lisa says, poverty line and poverty rate is established in Western countries, sir. I absolutely agree with you. You know why? When the government plays drum and everyone begins to dance to the drum, they become the musician. And you have to dance when they play. Here is it. I live in Nigeria. And I was born in Lagos. I'm from Ondo State. I was born in Lagos. My mom and my dad, we never had money. But one thing I did was, Lagos, there were a lot of money in Lagos. I stayed in Lekki. There were a lot of money in Lagos. But one thing I realized is that The more you make money in Lagos, the more you spend money in Lagos. And then I made a decision that there are other states. When it started coming to a point in my life, I said there are other states that I can. The first state I started buying property from, that money might not be able to rent certain properties in Lekki. So I moved away. I stopped dancing to the tune of my government. And the moment I decide not to dance to the tune of my government, there is nothing that goes on in Nigeria. The only thing I pray for in my country is for there not to be war. I cannot be poor. I went from an urban area to a rural area. I begin to invest in upspringing property and investment and real estate. I begin to farm. I begin to go into agriculture. I eat whatever I like. I eat turkeys. I eat eggs. I eat plantains. If food is my problem, I eat anything. Everything is available at my disposal. I do not depend on the government. And so when my Nigerian brothers were trying to protest, I was telling them, oh God, you guys shouldn't protest. You guys should go into agriculture. There's a solution rather than depending on the government. Fuel scarcity, everything is actually going on because most people are depending on the government. And so if you depend on the government, let's put it in this way. If you depend on me or I depend on you to survive, for you to control me, you have to use what I want to control me. It's as simple. That's a power dynamic. That's a power game. And I went into agriculture. If you used to watch wrestling, there's a guy they call Brock Lesnar. I know a lot of people will know him because he has even fought in the UFC before. Brock Lesnar is into farming. Agriculture has been one of the things that our ancestors do. These principles would never change. Humans would never eat iron. Humans will never eat artificial intelligence. If you go into agriculture, I haven't seen anyone who studied a lot in agriculture and at the end of the day, they don't find a way to be able to succeed. And Bluey says, I disagree with you a little. At least it is a little. So that means I got something right. So tell me where you disagree, because what you're saying is that, oh, the government have power to do this. I have a lot of farmland, and trust me, some of the places in the Western culture, there's a lot of game over there. And I don't want to dive back so that we don't enter, what do they call it? They call it a rabbit hole. I was a farm, but herdsmen will not allow us to farm in northern part. Absolutely. Okay, this is my Nigerian brothers. You most likely will be in either Kano, Kaduna, or Abuja, or something like that. Now, there are some of your brothers from northern areas. One of them is Kabiru. One of them is Babanya. I have them in my properties right now. Okay, you're from Kaduna, Bluey. Now, you understand that there's a political game that is going on in your environment, right? You also have the option to walk away from that particular environment and go sell whatever you have in that particular environment and move to a safer environment that is not traumatized with Boko Haram and herdsmen. Now, here's what I say. Some of your brothers in North, I have some properties of mine that they occupy right now. It's outside this estate. It's closer to another estate. I have it there. Now, they are doing, what do you call it? Iron condemn. You know what iron condemn is? They are into iron condemn. But rather, they make a lot of money and they send it home. Now they are buying some lands. These people are buying lands. They have many acres in Ogun State. Now, when we talk about herdsmen and Boko Haram, majority of these things happen within 3 or 4 states. 3 or 4 states in Nigeria. Now, when issues are happening, there's one thing you need to understand about life. When it comes to the idea of wealth, this is it. You don't put all your egg in one basket. You don't put all your investments in one location. I live in Ogun State. I invest also in Ibadan State. I wouldn't say that because I've been able to succeed here, I should not enlarge my coast. If you read the Bible talk about enlarging your coast. God will not go and give you a land if you don't take a step to go and find a land. There is no promised land for the people of the Israelites if they did not step their foot away from where they find themselves. Thank you, the enlightened one. It says it's in the Bible what you just said. So, my brother Bluey, trust me, I understand you. Rupesh K once said something. He says, one who lives without sickness and without worry in his mind is very rich person and his world. Enlightened one says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Is a verse from the Bible, Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. In fact, there are certain plantains, there are places that I plant some things, and in some place they flourish more than certain lands. Queen Pre, I don't like to ignore people, so I will give you small attention. He says, why is everybody, you were the one I was talking about earlier, and you were the reason why I talked about this. He said, why is everybody, other countries, so damn worried about black Americans and worried about USA more than their own country? When you study history, you would understand more things. First of all, I'm doing better and I'm doing well. I have a YouTube channel. Do you? You don't have a YouTube channel. When you have a YouTube channel, out of the conversations you begin to have, people begin to bring out different points to you based off what they think that you can comprehend or what you are insightful of. What are the possibilities of your insight? When I open this YouTube channel, I've been able to discuss with a lot of people from various parts of the world. One of them wrote before you and after you, and I called him the enlightened one. He is the enlightened one. We have once spoken. He's my Nigerian brother. I never knew him before, but through YouTube, I knew his channel and he knew me. So we have been able to discuss at different lengths. US, UK, I have a lot of people that discuss with me. So based off the topic they bring, we'll think about it as people, as audience. I can make a decision. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, Lisa. I could make a decision to talk about meaningless things. Queen Pre, there are many YouTube channels that could talk about sexuality, LGBTQFGHRASTUVWX. There are a lot of channels that can discuss this. And I believe when you came to life, when you come to the life channel, this was not the only channel that talk about black Americans. Other channels talk about all kinds of things, but you were drawn to this particular one. Why are you complaining about what another person is doing on his channel if you don't think that it is useful? There are people who value it, and that's just the reason why we're speaking about it. And when you come online, the importance of technology is supposed to unite us together. Rather than think of my nation, this nation, and that nation, we should be thinking as people. And I know it might be difficult for you to understand it, but some days I hope you will understand it. Okay, Blue says, yeah, and the enlightened one says, yes, we even text. We chat a lot. He calls me sometimes. I call him sometimes. We talk. We build a family. He said, okay, let me answer Blue. Blue says, I am into agriculture deep, from fish farming to greenhouse. I am automation. Well, I do a lot of things. One of it is YouTube. One of it is farming. I have a barbing salon. I am into events. We do these events, renting of chairs, tables. We do all those kind of stuff. I have few properties that I rent out, and people, I have some tenants and the rest of it. So I have a lot of things I do that keeps me busy. I write a lot of stuff. I'm trying to let you see things, Queen Spree. I hope you understand. You might see it like I hate you. We haven't discussed for long. I think we started talking today. I believe maybe if we have conversations after a period of time, maybe for a week or two, you will love me. I will love you too. And I love you regardless of the fact I know there are things that you really don't understand, but maybe as time goes on, most of these things will be revealed to you. Sometimes we are strangers to each other until we fully know each other. You have your views of life, I have my views of life. And so I believe with time we are going to understand each other. So back to the conversation. Thank you, Lisa, once again. I appreciate. One of the thing, something. I remember something and I was just laughing. I really don't want to say it, but Lee, Lee oh, oh, yeah, it's true. You can't believe in what has hurt you the most. It isn't because you did not believe in love, it's because you have been hurt by those who you love. The definition should make it more clear. Yeah. Lisa, thank you. Okay. Lisa is a mind reader. Lisa is a mind reader. She knew I wanted to talk about her. You knew exactly what is in my mind. Queen. um, before today, Lisa had almost the same viewpoint, maybe not the same viewpoint as you, Queen Spree, but Lisa was kind of seeing things a little bit different. And we argued and we fight. And so I was kind of surprised when she did the $5 thing. I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting it. So when I was laughing, she already knew I wanted to talk about her. Highlighted one says, no heart but don't believe in love. Does that make any sense? I do believe in God, not human, not love. Is love human would always fail. Only God is perfect. From Louis. See, let me say this, and I will say it to Queen Spree. Queen Spree, I would like you to open your mind to what I have to say, not because I need you. Oh, I have something here. Where is it? Rusty's life. Please do not think it's an herbalist stuff. Oh, my people always take it to church to sing praises. But when I see Rusty, I have to take it. Human love is an extension. Thanks for joining, Rusty. The enlightened one says human love is an extension of God's love if it's pure. Rupesh K says that God only tests those who believe too much of Him. Only God is love. Only God love is pure. Okay. Now let me put it in this perspective for you, Queen Spree. Remember I told you today that there's something inside of you that actually want to relate with humans. And trust me, Queen Spree, if you don't believe in love, you will be so good at isolating yourself that you are not even going to be on social media to relate with anyone. There is something inside of you that want to communicate and relate with people because you love to relate with people, even though you deny yourself of the fact that that is exactly what you want. When we had this conversation this evening, you had every opportunity, you had everything inside of you that could have unsubscribed, that could have blocked the channel, that could have done anything, but you want to communicate. That is a desire inside of you to belong with something. And you don't know if you're found that particular place that would lead you to be able to relate with something. You say communication have nothing to do with love. This conversation is full of love. The Beatles said it, all you need is love. She says communication has nothing to do with love. Well, you need some time. She said, maybe to me. You believe in God, but you're not conscious. You believe in God, but you're not aware. You believe in God, but you're not spiritual. You know, I said that to you before. There are a lot of things that are beyond what you can comprehend, Queen Spree. There are a lot of things that you can't understand, basically because you have fenced yourself. I'm teaching you fact right now. No, you ain't teaching me fact. You're teaching me hatred. So if you don't believe in love with humans, let me say this. Queen Spray, let me put it out to you. If I don't love you, it takes me only 3 seconds to block all your message and delete everything you've said on this channel immediately. 3 seconds. So if you don't understand the difference between love, I understand what love means. And what love simply means is to give chance. You could have gone to a place to communicate with the devil. You could have gone to different places to communicate. If you love God so much and you don't love human being, stay with God and talk to God and leave us alone. Maybe God will teach you about love. I'm giving you I'm giving you room to express yourself. You see, I can decide to just take that attention away, but I'm not Kevin Samuel. With that being said, enlighten one. Enlighten one. Here is it about Queen Spray. You can't debate this lady. You can't debate this lady. There is a mindset, and I think she needs some time. I think she needs some time, and I think she'll be off it. You see, it's like sometimes children cry, and when children cry, you have to give them sometimes some time to express themselves. Everything that Queen Pri has been doing, I'm giving her time to express herself, knowing fully well that she will come out of her cage or out of her shell. And my intention is that when she fully feel free, yeah, David, I love mind moving conversations. Yeah, she's gonna make us talk. She did that. She did that earlier today when we were having conversation. She did that earlier when we were having conversation, the early one. She just makes sure she stuck the conversation, and it's basically because she needed attention. But I want to just give her the freedom to, to write and maybe at some point she's going to get the message. So back to what I was saying. Let me just round up for today. First thing I think is that cultivate self-love and acceptance. And I said before you can share abundance with others, it is essential to love and accept yourself. Engage in practices like meditation, journaling, and therapy to understand your inner desires and emotions. This builds a sense of completeness from within, where your happiness isn't solely dependent on others. Find purpose beyond material wealth. If you're doing well and you want to come out of the shell of I am doing it all by myself, you have to understand that you have to find purpose beyond material wealth. How long can it sustain you? The next thing you need to do is to engage in social circles that reflect your interests. Building connection often starts with finding like-minded people. Building connections often starts with finding like-minded people. You may assume whether it's like joining a club, maybe attending events, maybe joining certain YouTube audience. Those who share your passions. Trust me, ever since we started this our conversation, okay, that's it. Oh, oh, I thought she said she's going to text you. You can see the mindset. Queen Spree, enlightened one, she is going to drain you. She's going to drain you. But trust me, I think after a period of time, she'll be fine. She don't need that attention right now. If there is, if there is one person, if the, if there is anybody, that's what I was about to say. If there's anybody who can handle Queen Spree, is Rusty. Rusty is the only person that can handle Queen Spree. Any one of us, no, we ain't good. But I wouldn't want Rusty to 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 pay attention to Queen Spree, and here's the reason. She might go and never wish to come back again. And that's just you see, on this Enlightenment says Rusty is a character, a serious one. Rusty says, love for my partners ensures I pay the bill. Love for my children ensures I pay the bills. I wouldn't want her to go, in a sense, because I think let's put it this way. Sometimes they say if you can't beat them, join them. Oh, so Rusty kind of twists this whole thing and says, don't tell me love don't pay the bills, because love for my partner ensures I pay the bills. Love for my children ensures I pay the bills. So do not tell me love don't pay the bills. Absolutely. I never even saw it coming. I never saw it coming. This is one thing. I think it's about if you can't beat them, you join them. Something inside Queen Spree is willing to say something, but she's not yet feeling comfortable because she feels like whatever she says, she most likely will be judged. And so she wants to come in being defensive, and maybe after a period of time, she would open up. So I'm not expecting her to open up today, tomorrow, but I think if we give her some time, she will. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what we are going to do. How long have I stayed here? This is 1 hour 19 minutes, and one of the reasons why I came live was basically because I made a decision that I wanted to, after I had a live video around 5 p.m. today, I think 5:30 p.m. today, and yesterday I was unable to come live around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I think I made it just a little video. And while I was about to sleep today, around 7 p.m., 7, 8 p.m., my mind was like, some of my audience might most likely think I would be on live and I wasn't showing up. I had to be live at this particular junction. And I actually came live to talk about the idea of Queen Spree, to liberate people who have the mind of being individualistic, and so they see the importance of sharing love. And that was why I was talking about the subject. But apparently, as God may have it, God wants her to experience the same thing. And she also came live. She came live and she had the same experience during the time. But now she came live and she still want to listen, but she just wants some attention. And I know it's a matter of time she would feel good, and she will be in a better spot. With that being said, it's a painful exit of today's conversation that we are unable to push the conversation straight. Now, what I might do, I don't know what I should do, but what I would have loved to do is, I don't like to shut people down. I love to give them chance to express themselves. At least let us talk about few things. Uh, Love for my neighbor helps me assist them. Okay, that's what Enlightenment says. That's very kind, Rusty. Rusty says also, why does love have to pay your bills? Surely you can pay the bills yourself. In the word of quality, okay, I think equality you want today. There are a few things I thought about Queen Spray right now, but I don't know how to put it. First of all, she said a word. And the word Queen Spray said was that I am a grown ass woman. And trust me, everything is beautiful in God's eye. But Queen Spray, are you very attractive? Are you very attractive? I'm talking about physically attractive. Because there's something beyond the physical attractiveness. Those who are physically attractive, sometimes they are able to maneuver their way. Enlightened one says attraction is subjective. I absolutely agree, because they say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. But sometimes we have to be realistic with ourselves. Here's what I know. And men, maybe we might deny, we might make a decision to shift as if these things are not there, but they are there. Majority of men in the outside world would most likely purchase things for women simply because they think the woman is so much attractive. When a lady says a word like, I can't take love to buy things in the store, love does not exist, I love myself, I don't love anybody, I am single, like to be alone, I don't care about anyone, I have a gun with me. She said something about having a gun and that give her rights, and she said a lot of stuff. And I'm asking, Is there a possibility that people are approaching you? There is a time when we have to tell ourselves the absolute truth. I can tell people the truth when I have to. I can be friendly and I can be blunt. And I'm very blunt with you. If people are coming to you, even if you refuse them, but they keep showering you with love and showing you love, I do not think you are going to have the same perception you have. And if you do, then that simply means there's something demonic. Rasta says if you're an independent woman, you should not be thinking love means someone buying you everything you want. That's just selfish. Queen Spree, where did you go before? And now you're coming back. You know, every single time we try to explain things to you, you find a way to throw it down and to make it look bad. So you know I wouldn't want to waste my energy to repeat myself when I know the conversation is not going to be productive. Please, for those who have other things to do, you can go. Let's leave Queen Spree with the YouTube. I would leave the YouTube channel for Queen Spree. Chat and say whatever you have to say. Let's give you the whole channel. Enjoy yourself. I want to treat you like a queen. Uh, you know, they had these dark minds. And trust me, I'm not saying, I don't think she has the dark mind. I think she has just been in a bad situation. And that bad situation, sometimes when people find themselves in difficult situations, it's difficult for us to drag them out of it. She's at Walmart. Hmm. So thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate the feedback. I'm grateful for Miss Lisa, Enlightened One, Rusty, Bluey, Rupesh K, and everyone who has contributed, including Queen Spree. I appreciate you for joining. But here's one thing I would say, Queen Spree. I believe if you had the same opportunity and you have been in different maybe YouTube audience and the rest of it in the past, and the maybe the host or the person who is having the conversation pays attention to what you're saying, or there's a moderator, they would most likely have blocked you. And I think you have few attitude that encourages them to want to do that. And I know that maybe you don't care simply because you have gotten so used to it, But do not deny the fact that you are not happy with such experience. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. The only people, the enlightened ones say that's actually true. I have been blocked by a few pages. The only people that I think that I can block are those people who have this conversation about maybe gay stuff or stuff like that. When you come on channels and you're like, oh, can I, say all those words that are not, I'm not trying to say I'm righteous, but sometimes there's an importance of morality. Those are the only people I think of blocking. And I think Rusty is can I think Rusty can remember we did that to somebody. And even regardless of that, I wasn't really happy to just block off people. I don't believe in it. All Thank you, Peter. Peter says it is one of life's greatest facts that it is hard to break free from a union. Ask all the nations that has been part of the British Empire. Okay? Rusty says that have more respect for yourself because you are basically saying you can have me if you buy me things. You've been watching pray. Anytime I smile, I did not intend to smile. Rusty made me smile. Put the blame on Rusty. I hate when I'm having serious conversation and I'm laughing. Rusty made me smile. So put the blame on him. So we had somewhere we intend going today, but I want us to also understand that why we have this conversations or union, I don't know. Wherever we are driving to, I really don't know, but I understand that I am building and I'm having the right people, and we are building this channel and we are having the right people here. And where it's going, I have no clue, but I can just feel it. So let us please be patient sometimes when someone like Queen Spray comes and say things like this. They might just be in a bad space, and the intentions here is to use part of our gift to to welcome them in one way or the other. Sometimes we have to say some kind of words that will make them open their eyes, but at the end of the day, our intention is to make sure we unite ourselves and inform ourselves and make ourselves more conscious on few things. So I don't believe in taking anyone out, and it doesn't occur. It's not if I do that when I sleep, I wouldn't be able to sleep well. It's simple. How much she thinks she's worth now? My check. So please let us try to be patient. People will change as time goes on. People evolve as time goes on. I think it is important for us to give them the ground for them to for them to express themselves, and we can grow all together. Lisa, thank you very much. With that being said, I'm sorry we could not end in a better place. How I would have loved us to end the conversation today. Please do endure with us. Tomorrow by this time, we are definitely going to come live. And we are going to continue today's conversation. All right, Queen Spree, have a great night. Everyone, have a great night. We see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Adios, amigos. Let's pray and take good care of ourselves. Good night.